Hey everyone, Amber Temerity Losey here. Today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about creating simple funnels that sell. Because whether you are a blogger, some sort of service provider, a business coach, dipping your toe into affiliate marketing, whatever the case may be, if you want to monetize, you need to know how to build a funnel. But before we get into that, I want to share just a little bit about me and how I've gotten to the place now where I'm able to teach others to work from home and make full-time incomes. Now, if you're new to who I am, or maybe seen me around in a couple Facebook groups, but you're not quite sure what exactly I do or what it is that makes me an expert to teach you about such things, I want to start off by telling you that I've been on this adventure for nearly 20 years. That's right, back in the days of Zanga, MySpace, LiveJournal. Oh, remember GeoCities? That was fun. Even since the days of Neopets. Yeah, I was a really cool kid, obviously, while everyone else was like out skateboarding and doing whatever they did in the late 90s. I was at home learning HTML, honestly, and learning how to build websites and blogging, which is what I do. I used to work in higher ed. I did that for a little over 7 years, teaching students about organizational leadership, time management, and of course, marketing. And while I loved my students, the politics of higher ed didn't really sit too well with me. So I decided in November of 2015 to make a go of trying to turn this blogging thing into a money-making thing, since I'd been a hobby blogger then, like I said, for nearly 20 years. And little did I realize that by April of 2016, I was going to be able to quit my job in higher ed and work from home full time. Now, it's not always easy. I do have a couple kids. I have a little boy who will be turning 6 this October, a sweet little girl who will be 5 in February. Yep, they're only 16 months apart. And while it is always just a little bit crazy, it's also amazing because I do have that freedom to wade through the craziness with them, to watch them grow up, to go to school functions during the day, to live life on my terms, which is something that I had always dreamed about and knew would never be possible if I had kept that career in higher ed. Now, I do run 2 websites currently that are my own. I, of course, have amberlosey.com, which is my marketing site through which I offer services as a digital marketer and as a blog mentor. And then, of course, I do still have that blog that allowed me to do it all, to leave behind that higher ed career. The one that I launched in November of 2015, still going today, still loving it, still making money with it, of course. It gets better every year. And I also, of course, do help clients build and manage their own websites. My husband's got a website. We're big on websites here. We're big on blogs. And I say this because, one of the key things, I think, whenever you're looking to learn from someone new, whether it's, again, a business coach or somebody teaching you about marketing or somebody teaching you about site design, anything like that, you really want to make sure that they've got that proof, that social proof, that work ethic, the educational professional background to be the ones teaching you. Because I cannot tell you how many times I've, sat through other people's trainings, whether it's on sales funnels or otherwise, and kind of just shook my head going, no. Or how many times have you seen somebody claims to be a business coach and that's all they've ever done? They've never actually built a business. And so again, kind of just touching on this a little bit to demonstrate that, yes, I can say I've been doing it for 20 years, doesn't necessarily mean much. I do have the social proof to back up what it is that I'm saying. Now, with all of that out of the way, let's get to the good stuff, the stuff that you're here for, and that is building those simple funnels that sell. We want to get from point A, which is where you are today-ish, to point Z, where you're making that money, where you're bringing in that steady stream of income without a lot of effort on your part. Now, I'm of the mindset that there isn't really such a thing as passive income. Even, I see people all the time saying, oh, I'm going to be a blogger, bring in some passive income. It doesn't work that way. But when you've got funnels in place, you do that groundwork, because we're going to cover kind of a lot today. And there's a lot of legwork to be put into building a funnel, even the simple ones. But when you lay that groundwork, when you front load it like that, it becomes so much easier to then make those sales, to tweak a couple things here or there. But you're not going to be having to spend, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 hours a week, heaven forbid, trying to make sales when you take the time ahead of time to get a strong funnel in place. Again, yes, you'll have to take the time to monitor it, to maybe make a few changes as your audience grows and evolves, as your business grows and evolves. But again, when you take the time now to get these funnels in place, then tomorrow, a month from now, a year from now, you will be all the better for it. So please be sure to take notes. At the end, I will give you my email address. So if you find yourself with questions, I do obviously talk a little bit fast. So if there's something where you want me to clarify something or expound upon something, email me, reach out. I'm always happy to help and answer any questions that you may have. So let's start off then with point A. A lot of people, when they're talking about sales funnels, they're going to say, oh yeah, point A, that's our lead magnet, right? That freebie that you give away to get people on your email list. It's not that simple anymore, unfortunately. 5 years ago, I would say that, yeah, you could absolutely just have a lead magnet out there. An ebook, a PDF, video training tutorial, whatever the case may be, you could absolutely have it out there. People would opt in. I would say maybe not quite 5 years ago, maybe more like 10 years ago, you'd have people who would just subscribe to your blog because they love to read what you have putting out. And you're still going to get that. But people nowadays are so much more aware of how important it is to protect their email address, right? People treat it now like they do their home address. And so it's not as easy to get leads, to get quality leads as it was, like I said, back 5-10 years ago. So point A is actually our lead magnet-ish, in that we are leading them to the lead magnet. So what that looks like is it could be a blog post. For example, on my site, my Amber Losey site, I've got a blog post about how important it is to use an editorial calendar for your business, whether you are a blogger or otherwise. One of the key strategies, one of the key components that I make every single one of my clients have in place is some sort of editorial calendar, because then you can branch off and make that content strategy, the content calendar. It really is key. And so I talk about that in this rather lengthy blog post. And then throughout the blog post, I have strategically placed opt-in boxes or links leading to my opt-in page that then lead to an editorial calendar template and a video training. So that's what I mean by saying that you would want to maybe lead them via a blog post. If you are a garden blogger and you want to have a lead magnet that lays out what plants to plant based on your zone and based on the month, that's an awesome lead magnet. That's an awesome PDF, right? But you need to start with a blog post about seasonal planting, about planning ahead. Kind of like an editorial calendar, right? Except it's a gardening calendar. Or if maybe you don't really have a blog, maybe you're not at a place or don't plan to ever be at a place where you're using a blog as supplemental marketing tool or otherwise, then maybe do a video. Again, that could be a video in your Facebook group, on your Facebook page, on your YouTube channel, whatever works for you, wherever your audience is. Do a video, touch on a few key components that relate to that lead magnet, and then start that funnel to getting them to signing up, to opting in for that lead magnet, for that freebie. Likewise, you could also do a podcast. You could even go all crazy, go all out, and do all three. There have been many times where I've had my VA or someone, I've outsourced a video that I've done and said, hey, can you turn this into a blog post for me? And then from that video, I could also then pull the audio. I don't have a podcast, but if I did, I could pull the audio and turn it into a podcast too. So there's definitely a lot of opportunities there to, again, lead people to that lead magnet. So now point B is for real our lead magnet. Now this is something where you really want to entice them, okay? Like I said, people are much, much more protective about their email address than they used to be back in the day. So you really got to give them something that's going to blow their minds. It can't just be sign up to get my blog posts every week, woo, or sign up to stay up to date on my website. No, nobody's going to do that. Yeah, you might get one or two, but we're not talking about getting one or two people signing up to your email list every day or even every week. Ugh, that's terrible. We're talking we want 20, 30, 40, 50 people opting in all the time, every day. We want to see that number growing. And it's not going to happen if it's just like, subscribe because you like me. Yay. They're not going to. So you've really got to think about something that is going to get them to where they are just like, this is free. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is free. This is amazing. And so that relates to my second point, is that it is best typically if it's quickly actionable and consumable. It doesn't have to be though, because just like I'm saying, when I was like, people are going, oh my gosh, it's free. My very first lead magnet that I had when I started offering services as a blog mentor and digital marketing strategist was an 83-page planner. Yeah, I know. Kind of insane, right? Not only because it was free, but because that's a lot. And I did have some people that are like, this is just too much. Oh my gosh. But more often than not, I had people going, I can't believe you're giving this away for free. This is phenomenal. Like jaw-dropping. We want people physically dropping their jaws, gasping, clutching their pearls and going, oh my goodness. Because when you wow them from the gate, everything else is such a piece of cake. And bonus, you can do what I did and turn that lead magnet eventually, a year from now, a couple years from now, turn it into a product that sells. I now sell that 83-page planner as a digital product. It comes with video tutorials, all sorts of, it's grown, it's evolved again as your business will. It now sells for $197. And it's well worth it. I proved that from, again, clients and customers and email subscribers that knew me 3-4 years ago. They know the value that's there. That's already been proven to them. And so if you can do that right away, that will make all the difference in terms of where you end up, in terms of the funnel, in terms of those end results. And you really want to give them what they don't even realize they need unless they're already begging for it. And so what I mean by that is a lot of times you can, you'll see people say, oh, well, poll the audience, ask in Facebook groups, email them and say, hey, what's your biggest issue? And absolutely, you should do that from time to time. As long as you're being intentional and specific. Don't just go into a random Facebook group and go, hey, bloggers, what do you need? Because you're going to get you're going to waste your time, honestly. You're going to get all sorts of answers from all sorts of different people in all sorts of different niches. Be specific, be intentional, and absolutely ask that question. But if you can figure out what they need that they don't even realize they need, that's the golden egg there. That is where, again, you're going to have people dropping their jaws. And so one thing that I really like to do is think about the top 5 books that my target market, my audience would read in terms of, as it relates to my niche. So, if we're talking about Thrifty Guardian, which is a frugal living blog for millennial parents, I think about the top 5 books that they might be reading in relation to parenting, in relation to money management, even possibly in relation to productivity and time management. Whatever categories you've got set up on your website, especially if you're running a blog, think about those. And think about books that relate to it. Go on Amazon and read those 1-star reviews. I don't know if you're like me. I love to read 1-star reviews anyway, just because a lot of times they are hilarious. But you also can find a lot of wisdom there in terms of people are going, this book was all right. Could have been better if XYZ. And that XYZ is what you're going to use to build your lead magnet. If you already have a customer base or an audience base in place to where you've already seen a repetitive, oh, I really need help with this. I'm really struggling with affiliate marketing, or I'm really struggling with learning about baby-led weaning, or I'm really struggling with Photoshop, whatever they're struggling with. If it's a common reoccurrence, that you're already seeing among your target market, then yes, absolutely, you've already got that information. Create the solution to it. Otherwise, go on Amazon, check out book reviews, go in your favorite Facebook groups, especially again if they're related to your niche. Do some searching. Don't just like post your own question again. Utilize the search function. Read what other people have already said. Gotta do a little bit of digging, but again, it's worth it in the end, as long as you are smart and intentional about what you're doing. And so along those lines, relate it to your end goal. Relate it to the sale. Don't create a lead magnet on the best ways to bullet journal and then try to make a sale on an ebook about peaches. No, you got to connect the dots there, right? So be intentional, be smart, be specific, do a little bit of digging, and craft that lead magnet to really kick off that funnel. Then the Tripwire. And let me tell you, I have a number of clients that really struggle with this. In fact, I was just recently, a couple days ago, was on a call with a client who created this digital product for sale, created her sales page, and has decided, I can't do it. I can't have a Tripwire in place. I don't feel like I've provided enough value yet. I get it, right? It's kind of like asking someone out on a second date when they just said yes to the first. It may be a little in your face. It may be a little hard for you to swallow to go, I already have to make an ask. Try it out. Do it anyway. Because we want to get and keep these people in yes mode. You are not building a fan club. You are not building a list of subscribers who are just there to read your weekly emails and celebrate and clap for you. Yeah, we want people like that. But what we really want are people who are buying. We want a customer base, not a fan base. And so what a Tripwire looks like is on your thank you page. After somebody types in their email and says, yes, give me that freebie, it redirects to a thank you page. And instead of the thank you page just going, hey, thanks, go check your inbox, it's, hey, thanks, now give me a minute because I have a special fast action offer for you. Now, again, I see a lot of times people saying it should be something under 50. I say it should be something under 10. Something that, again, relates to the lead magnet. We want to keep consistent here. That is so important. And it's got to stay true to what it is you're saying. So if you're saying this is a fast action offer, this is something that you can only get for the next 5 minutes, you have to have two things then. One, you better have it so that that page redirects in 5 minutes. And two, you better have it to where they can't go back, to where it automatically redirects every time. And also, please, this should go without saying, but maybe not, don't offer it to them later in the funnel for that price. In fact, don't offer it to them again at all. At least not in this sort of venue, not in this sort of way, and not at this low ticket price. Make the Tripwire something that is in fact a one-time only fast action offer, because if you don't, if this is something where, 3 emails later you go, oh, hey, also, I'm going to give you this opportunity again, you automatically damage your credibility. You automatically hurt yourself, hurt the trust that the customer may, or that the audience, that the reader may have already been building up with you. Don't do that. Stay true to what it is, because it's not a moneymaker. It's a customer maker. This Tripwire is not meant to make you a ton of money. It's not meant to make you rich. It's not meant to make you much money at all. It's meant to make you a customer base, to people who are already in that mindset of, yes, I want to invest my email address, my time, and my money in this person. And then again, I'm going to keep coming back to this, is provide exceptional value for the price. So once again, we want to give it our all. We really want them going, wow. And there's a number of benefits to that, some of which I've already touched on. But if this is a digital product to where you plan on selling it at a higher price down the line, or, again, like my planner, where you're planning to possibly evolve it, up that price, these people who are investing in you now, even though they may not be, bringing you in a ton of money now, They can be affiliates down the road. So you got to think about that too. And then some examples of what a Tripwire looks like in terms of that digital product. It could be, it doesn't even have to necessarily be a digital product. It could be a one-on-one call with you. So for example, I've got a client right now who is running a laser coaching flash sale. And so she could very much use that as a Tripwire. Normally it's $89. Today it's only $49. Again, I'm somebody who believes that it should be less than 10, but there are always exceptions to be made because it is about your audience, about your target market and your ideal client. It could be a video course. It could be an audit opportunity. If you're familiar with me, you know that I do Pinterest audits. Mine are already priced as low as I can reasonably price them. But if the normal price for it was double what it is, then I could absolutely cut it down and offer that as a fast action sale. It could be a recorded training. So with my editorial calendar template, my training comes with it for free as part of the lead magnet, but I could absolutely piece it out and have the template just be the lead magnet and have that training as kind of, a $5 add-on opportunity. It could be an ebook. It could be a $1 trial if you've got a membership site. It really could look like anything. Again, as long as it's not overly priced. You don't want to be being like, hi, nice to meet you. Now invest $200 in me. So go with what you feel is right for your target market, for your audience. And if you are at a point, like I said earlier about that client that's like, you know what? No, I don't want to do this Tripwire. If it's something that makes you that uncomfortable, then hold off. Your funnel won't be as strong as it could be with a Tripwire. But it's not unreasonable for you to keep it out for now. I'm a big proponent of going with your gut and doing whatever feels right for you. As long as you're coming from a place of, strategic thinking, of just wanting to build up your base. Otherwise, if you're coming from a place of fear, well, that's a whole different thing. But just something to keep in mind is that if it makes you that uncomfortable, wait. Because if it's making you uncomfortable, it's not going to be top quality that your audience deserves. And so the Tripwire that's meant to help would in fact instead hurt. Now is when you're going to deliver the goods. So your gift, as promised here in your inbox, is my PDF, my ebook, my training, my 5-day email series to help you organize your house. Whatever the case may be, give it. That first email that you send is, like I said, the delivery of the lead magnet, that freebie that you're giving away, and you need to be using a strong subject line. If your open rate for that welcome email is not around 80%, you need to tweak your subject line. You need to do some split testing. That should be the one email that almost everyone opens. Obviously, some end up in spam. Some people are like, yes, I want this and want this, I want this. The people that opt in for everything and then never open it. It happens. Shouldn't happen more than 20% of the time. And then lay out the expectations. So what are they going to get by staying on your list? Are you going to email them every week? Are you going to be emailing them every other day? Are you going to be sharing behind the scenes photos and tips about your life? Are you going to be doing it where you're going to give them lots of free training opportunities? Whatever the case may be, have a plan. Let them know what they'll be getting, what they should expect by staying on your list. Again, it really helps solidify that connection to where they are not necessarily thinking of you as a friend, because again, we're not building a fan base, we're building up a customer base, but as somebody that they want to connect with, as somebody they want to see in their inbox. And then now is the nurturing. This is where you really want to woo them. Now, if you've gotten this far already and you're like, okay, Amber, I already have all of this in place, then God bless you. Thanks for sticking with me. This goes for whether you already have all of what I've already talked about in place or not. So you can see if you a few bullet points down. Oh, if you are brand new to all of this, you're just getting started, hopefully you're taking lots of great notes, figuring out what you're going to do for your lead magnet, all of that, then your welcome sequence, your nurture sequence, if you will, minimum of 3 to 5 emails. If you already have all this in place and, life happens, you've been sick, you had a baby, things just got away from you, and you just find yourself with a cold list, minimum 5 to 7 emails. You got to warm them back up. You got to get your way back into their hearts. You got to woo them. And so drip sequences, otherwise known as a welcome series or a nurture series, nurture sequence, all of it means the same. It's that automated email, or emails rather, that go out over a set amount of time. And so with your welcome sequence, like I said, that first email is going to be the delivery of the lead magnet. And then ideally, the laying out of the expectations. But if you found that your first email is maybe a little too wordy or maybe a bit longer than you would like or that you think your audience would like, then don't be afraid to, in the second email, lay out the expectations. Introduce yourself. This may very well be the first time people are connecting with you. You really want to make that great first impression. So talk about you, talk about your life. Share a little bit about what you've got going on or how you got to where you are today. Much like I did in the beginning of this video, share those tidbits about your life that allow people to connect with you on a human level. You're not just some invisible force behind a screen. You're not just some, person that they someday aspire to be. You are a human. You are a person just like them. You want to make sure that they remember that they connect with you on that level. And then also another great thing to always share is testimonials. So, you could share, or client stories. Share how you changed a client's life. Share how you blew them out of the water with this logo that you created with them, or how after just 2 coaching sessions, Sarah Smith's entire life changed. Don't lie to them. Don't make up stories. But the more that you can meet your audience on that, again, that human level, the better off you will be, and the better off they're going to be. The easier it is for them to believe in you, to believe what it is you're pushing, to believe what it is you're putting out there. Because again, they're connecting with you as a person, not as some figment behind a screen. And then always, in every email that you send out, have a call to action. Get them not just in that mindset of saying yes to you, right? Which is what we wanted to do with that Tripwire. Get them in the mindset of saying yes, and what do you want me to do? So it might just be, hey, make sure you like me on Facebook, or make sure you join my Facebook group, or hit reply and tell me about your biggest struggle right now, or tell me about your favorite gardening story, going back to the example we used earlier, the best thing you ever grew in your garden, or hit reply and tell me about your biggest struggle as a new mother, whatever the case may be. Again, that not only will help you connect with them, but it's going to help the email servers trust that your email is one to be trusted, to not end up in spam, because they see that mutual interaction there. And then you could also tell them to opt into something, opt into my next training, opt into this new email series I just built, opt into this workshop I've got going on next week. Or you could even say, check out my latest blog post, but please, for the love of Pete, please use that sparingly. I cannot tell you how much it kind of drives me batty when somebody's entire email list, or email series rather, is just, here's my blog post from this week. Here's my blog post from this week. And it's just the blog post every time. Because, again, there's no connection there. I'm going to forget who you even are. But it comes across as a little bit lazy. It comes across as you don't care about genuinely connecting with your audience. And so while there are absolutely times when check out my latest blog post is called for, especially if it's a post that then leads to a new lead magnet, or one that's doing really well, one that your audience will see immense value in, that's great. That makes sense. Otherwise, go with a different CTA. And finally, yay, we're at point Z, where the money makers are. Make the ask. And I put that in quotations because you're not really asking them to invest, because if you've been doing this right, if you've got that funnel in place, it's strong, it's sturdy, you've been wooing them, they feel nurtured, they feel loved, they feel connected to you. It's not so much an ask as it is almost another gift, right? Of now that we're at this point, we're at point Z. They don't know they're at point Z, but we do. It's like, here is this next thing that you need to make your life easier, to reduce stress, to get you out from under the overwhelm, to, help you get organized, help you create content, whatever the case may be. This is something you need in your life. Here is another gift for you. Yes, it's going to cost you money, but it's so worth it. And you know what? You know it's worth it because you trust me. You've already been investing your time, your energy, your money in me. It's not really an ask. It's a gift. And so videos really do work best, obviously. You probably, might not even necessarily still be with me if this were just a blog post. I would go so far as to say, I don't know that you would still be with me if this was just me talking, right? If we didn't have the slides or if we didn't have any sort of video at all. Videos do work best, but if you're better with your words in terms of copyright, go for it. Again, this is not the end-all be-all of, well, if you don't do exactly what I say, exactly how I say it, and the exact structure I'm putting out for you, you're going to fail. You've got to figure out what works best for you and your audience. And so if you're somebody where you have never done a video before, or you're somebody who tends to stutter, right? I have a tendency to say and a lot, nowhere near what I used to because I've been doing videos now for years. But if you really struggle with the idea of doing a video, even if it's not live, don't stress over it. It's not going to make or break you. It's going to be something you'll have to work through eventually. But again, if you are uncomfortable with it, it's going to make your audience uncomfortable. So if you think that you are much more persuasive right now by writing it out, do that. And, you could even invite them if it's something where you're offering a service or, like coaching or graphic design. You're going to be making the ask in the form of a sales call. Obviously, we do not call them sales calls ever. In fact, I don't even call them discovery calls. But a call to, again, connect, to actually get to know that person's personality on a much realer level, on a much more personal level. But if you don't have a service, if you're pushing them more towards a digital product, then get them to that sales page. Going back to, like I said, with the videos work best, it really is something where, again, using the term webinar, right? It feels a little played out. That's what they are. But you could call it a video training, a workshop, come check out my live stream, whatever the case may be, just like we did in the beginning when we got from like point A-ish to point B, leading them to the lead magnet. Now you're going to lead them to that sale. So, if it is something where it's a digital product, it might be you do a webinar, talk about the benefits of this product that you're putting out there, and then push, nudge them to the sales page. If you don't yet have a digital product or service, get an affiliate. Like choose something to be an affiliate for. Ideally, with all of this work that you're putting in, it would be your own digital product or service. But if you're, again, just not there yet, then look for something that you can promote that's going to bring in $100 plus. So going back to my planner, that is something where I offer anywhere between 40 and 75% commission rate, depending on where you came in at with that. But that's something where my affiliates stand to earn over $100 per sale. So if they, I very much have many people who do this. They've got that funnel built into place for that planner. It's not their product or service, but the time that they put in building that funnel is so worth it because of the amount of money that they're making. So if you can find a product or service to be an affiliate for, whether it's an e-course, an ebook, a physical book, some sort of service, then it's absolutely worth it to build a funnel for. If it's something where you're putting in all this work and you're only going to be making like $10, don't. Definitely recommend, affiliates if you can down the road, write a blog post about it. Don't build this kind of funnel for something that's not going to pay off in the long run, or something where you need 100 customers to make it worth your time. It should be something where you build it, and after 5 customers, you're going, yes, like this is what I wanted. This is the kind of income I'm meant to be bringing in. And then if all else fails, consider Facebook ads. Even if all else doesn't fail, I love Facebook ads. They are a major game changer for anyone and everyone's business. But the nice thing about this is that you are putting all of this time and energy, like we talked about, into this funnel, and you can then use those leads that you now have as to target them on Facebook. And so it's something where even if you're nervous about doing a video, and so you're like, I know Amber said that doing a video is key, but I just want to write, but I'm also not really confident in my writing style. If you don't make that sale with that first ask, target them on Facebook. You've probably heard it before. People have to be hit by something, well, not really hit, touched by something at least 7 times to want to invest in it. And so Facebook ads, again, can be great for retargeting, but also for just targeting in general, for helping you make that ask, especially if you're not confident in the other methods that you're using. All right, so I know I covered a lot in just over half an hour. And again, I'm well aware that I talk fast. It's part of my charming personality. So if you have any questions at all, anything from, do you think this lead magnet is going to work for me, to how many emails should I have in this sort of sequence, whatever question you may have, please feel free to reach out to me at amber@thriftyguardian.com or amber@amberlosey.com. Thrifty Guardian is typically a little bit easier for people to remember. Regardless, email me, hit me up on Facebook, whatever the case may be. Find me on LinkedIn if you really want. I'm all around, and I'm always happy to answer your questions and help out my fellow entrepreneurs. So thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope to hear from some of you soon.